Hi guys, and welcome to Quinton's Guitar Corner, and in today's episode I'm going to be demoing the Fortin Nameless Suite demo by Neural DSP. As you probably heard me ramble on in loads of other episodes where I've talked about finding the right tone for my 8-string, whether it be live or recording or whatever. This was the only plugin that I actually hadn't tried, and I just thought, you know what, it was the very first one, why not? I've heard so many things about it, you know. Meshuggah have had a, they kind of have a sound with, Fortin that they built up and all that sort of stuff, and I thought, why not? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play an actual demo of a track that I wrote in the context of a mix, setting with drums and all that kind of stuff, and then we're going to hop on and we're going to see if we can, what kind of tones we can basically dial on, give you guys sort of an idea of how I would use it for an 8-string kind of tone. Yeah, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, so here we have the Fortin Nameless Suite. So this is the default tone that you get if you're playing an 8-string guitar. You have your input, you have your gate. I couldn't really toggle with the stereo mono mode, but it is what it is. You got the high or normal oversampling. I always have it on normal because my laptop can't handle going to high. When it does go to high in this state, it within my DAW, it goes a bit mental. Then you got your output, which is essentially, how loud you want to control everything coming out after the actual amp head itself. You've got options for different distortions and a noise gate. So the Zool is pretty cool, just a one-stop shop for, getting those kind of gates on top of the gate that you actually have inbuilt into the plugin. You have a hex drive, which is more for your kind of, I think, rockier tones. And then you've got the Fortin grind, which is, essentially, how to describe it? I would say it's like a clean boost. Well, not really a clean boost. It's more like one sort of EQ setting, like a tube screamer that's quite gritty. But then it's all, it's totally amped to 11, and, you adjust the level with that one knob. So in this state now, in the default setting, it's all, I've got the grind on, I've got the Zool on, and what you have is just pretty responsive. Bearing in mind I am using the Solar pickups, which are medium output. There's not a lot of... In fact, I would actually I would record with that, actually, as an 8-string. Doing 2 tracks per side, so doing 2 on the left, 2 on the right. I might actually give that a go one day. Okay, so you've got your on-off, your standby on-off, as you would, from your traditional heads. You've got presence, you've got a gain, you've got a middle, treble, and then you've got 2 gains. So gain 2 and gain 1. And then you have a high input or a low input. What I tend to do is go for the high one. So I get that little bit more sort of bite out of the tone and out of the head. And yeah, I very much dig that. And then you go into the cab section. Now, what I would say, and this is just from my experience as a guitar player, there's no right or wrong way here. But what I would say, and what I do in generally is, and particularly in the last couple of years, dealing with frequencies this low or lower, because the band's tuned to drop E. The cab that you use, or the cab sound, or the profile, or impulse response, whatever it is, that makes up a large portion of your sound. Whether it's mic'd up, whether it's not, it really does. So mic placement is pretty crucial to what you do. And I'm glad to say from the presets that I have seen on this, I'm pretty stoked with them. I do enjoy, listening to how the mics are played. And because it's sort of based on real world situations, you can apply these kind of methods of miking to your actual sound, which is great. So you have in here on the left side, you've got your dynamic 57, 906, 421, a condenser 184, a ribbon 160. I think that's based on an M160. And then a ribbon 121. And then you've also got an option to load in custom IRs. So I'm actually going to do a video in the future where I am actually going to do that, and you'll see some of the sounds I've been able to get, which is pretty cool. And then same on the other side as well, and you can adjust the position, the distance, the level, whatever you want. You can do that. Okay, so now I'm going to just basically click on a preset. Now the beauty of this is you have your default settings, which is what it is and what you see now. You've got the artists, you've got Dugout, you've got Jens Kidman, you've got Matthias Kuplainen, I hope I pronounced that right. You've got Ola England, and these are actually the first time I've seen these presets actually. So he's got an I Can't Play That Song, it sounds real, no complaints now, and that's nice. And Timu Mantasari, who is a monster player. Like, oh wow. Like, what a player, I gotta say. Just perfect. And okay, so then you've got your factory settings, which are based on classic rock, metal, and modern rock. Now for this video, there's an 8-string. There are 2 8-string profiles. Not profiles. There are 2 8-string sounds that they basically put in the preset section. So I'm gonna naturally gravitate towards those. Actually, let's have a look and see what it sounds like from a 6-string perspective. Why not? So let's go to Metal 05 8-string. I quite like that. Now, in terms of mic placements, what have they got? They've got a condenser 184, which I guess is pretty big, and they've got that positioned quite far on the left, and then they've got a ribbon 121 to give, yeah, you know, more of that kind of wide sort of sound, positioned in a similar place. They've done it so the level on the condenser is higher than the ribbon, so I guess they use, you know, the main kind of mic sound to come from the condenser, and then they sort of double it up with the ribbon. And then the positions are obviously slightly different, but not that much. And the good thing about this plugin is that you can really get into that nitty-gritty of how you want to dial it in, and it sounds comparable. It feels comparable for sure. Okay, so let's see what the second 8-string profile basically tells us. Okay, so for this, which is the second one, Metal 08, you know, the full gain portion has been cranked up. The gain 1 and gain 2 have been boosted up. Everything is on 10 a bit. The presence has shifted up a little bit too. And you can kind of see, in terms of the distortion sound, I mean, the grind has been kept relatively low. Actually, I think they turned it off. Oh, no, they haven't. I turned it off. Silly me. Okay, so the grind is on, say, 10 o'clock. Zool's on a similar level. Mic-wise, what have they done? They've kept the same mics. Position's pretty much the exact same as before. Everything, there's no change there. And I'm digging it. Liking it, for sure. I mean, I'm not going to go through every single preset, but I am going to try Jens Kidman profile. Why not? Let me do that again. I didn't quite like that. Whew. I'm digging that. And he's got no presence on there, like, whatsoever, on that particular profile. So let's try the Timu. So he's got quite a lot of lead ones. But I want to try Brutal Chug first. Why not? That's quite cutting. I like it. I'd probably personally back off the middle a little bit on that, but that's pretty nice. Let's try the soaring solo. What is this about? I mean, for a soaring solo, he hasn't, you know, really pushed the gain in terms of gain 1, but he's got the full gain up. Let's see what he's doing. Okay. Oh, he's got the hex drive on, I see. I'm so blind today. What is happening? And then mic-wise, he's got, wow, okay, that's quite interesting. Putting the condenser 184 sort of in an offset position, off from the center. And then the ribbon, which is the ribbon 121, kind of close to the center, a bit to the right. Okay. I'm gonna add like a secondary delay to this because I love that kind of stadium rock lead tone, so why not? I'm gonna give this a go. What have I got? Whoops. Woo, I like it. Yeah, man. That's killer. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to try and see how quick I can get a tone that I actually like. See how it goes, and yeah. Drop off the middle. Push the grind a bit. Quite like. buttons are pushing. As a default. So we've got a dynamic 57 and the condenser 184. I mean, there are a lot of mics to run through, but I'm going to try the 57 M160 because I've seen on a lot of videos where people use that. So one down the M160 or the ribbon 160 rather. The M160, ribbon 160 rather, out a bit. Out. Isn't necessarily something what I'm kind of, you know, what I would go for from a recording standpoint, but in terms of, you know, just plugging in and going and just wanting to kind of to riff off and just see what happens, you know, I've just bumped up the gain on gain 1. If you guys like what you see here, and you know, if there's anything that you particularly want to see, please let me know in the comments boxes below. You can always do what the sign says and click to subscribe, and as that would really help me out in terms of getting my videos out there more. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon.